Welcome back in this lecture series on topic ionic equilibria. In this lecture, we will study about amphoteric nature of water and ionization of acid and bases, and also dissociation constant of weak acid and weak bases. So let us first study about amphoteric nature of water. Now you know that water is a universal solvent. That means water can dissolve most of the substances into it. And this property of water is due to its polar nature and high dielectric constant. Now dielectric constant means it is ability of an solvent to separate cation and anion. That means to weaken the forces of electrostatic forces of attraction between cation and anion, and therefore water is a universal solvent. These solvents, on the basis of proton interaction, solvents are classified into four types. First, that is protophilic solvent. Philic means affinity, attraction. So those solvents which have a attraction, which have a affinity for proton, they are called as a protophilic solvent. Or definition of protophilic solvent is those solvents which have tendency to accept proton. For example, water, alcohol, liquid ammonia. These are the examples of protophilic solvent. Now protogenic solvent. Genic means producing, generating. So those solvents which have tendency to produce proton, they are called as a protogenic solvent. For example, water, liquid HCl, glacial acetic acid. These are the examples of protogenic solvent. And the third type of a solvent, that is aprotic solvent. Solvents which neither donate nor accept proton. Such solvents are called as a aprotic solvent. For example, benzene, carbon tetrachloride or carbon disulfide. These are the examples of aprotic solvent. And the fourth type, that is amphiprotic solvent. Those solvents which act as both protophilic, that means proton accepting, or protogenic, that means proton producing or donating. Such solvents are called as what? Amphiprotic solvent. For example, ammonia, then water, ethyl alcohol. These are the examples of what? Amphiprotic solvent. Now, water shows both properties. Water can behave as an acid as well as water can behave as a base. And that depends upon the nature of the other substance with which it reacts. And this dual behavior of water is called as what? Amphoteric nature of water. Now when water can act as an acid, water acts as an acid when it reacts with a base stronger than itself. For example, see here. In this reaction, water acts as an acid. Water reacts with ammonia. And in this reaction, water donates its proton to ammonia and forms what? NH4 ion. Ammonia accepts this proton and form NH4 ion, which is a conjugate acid of the base. And water donates its proton to ammonia and form its conjugate base, that is OH ion. This reaction you have already studied in Bronsted-Lowry theory. According to Bronsted-Lowry theory, acid is a substance which donates proton. Therefore, water here acts as a proton donor, that is acid, and substances which accept proton, they are called as a base. So here ammonia acts as a base. Then water can also act as a base when it reacts with acid stronger than itself. For example, see here water accepts proton from HCl. So water acts as a base and HCl acts as a acid. And when water accepts proton, it forms hydronium ion, that is a conjugate acid of water. and HCl donates its proton to water and forms conjugate base. Cl ion is a conjugate base of HCl. So thus water acts as acid as well as a base. See here some more examples. Water, when it reacts with carbonate ion, it donates its proton to carbonate ion and therefore it acts as a acid. So here bicarbonate ion is formed, which is a conjugate acid of carbonate ion, and OH ion, which is a conjugate base of acid, that is water. Another reaction, in another reaction here water acts as a base, and here water accepts proton from ammonium ion and forms hydronium ion, which is a conjugate acid. And when ammonium ion donate proton, then it forms its conjugate base, that is what? Ammonia. So thus water can act as acid as well as water can act as a base, and this dual nature of water is known as what? Amphoteric nature of water. Now next point, that is ionization of acid and bases. Ionization of acid and bases we have already studied in the first lecture of this topic. So on the basis of extent of dissociation, acid and bases are classified into two types, that is strong acids and weak acid. Like that, bases are classified into two types, strong base and weak base. So how much acid undergo dissociation or undergo ionization, on that basis this classification is based. Now strong acid means those acids which almost completely dissociated in water, that means 100% dissociated, and in such a acids alpha is a degree of dissociation or degree of ionization, that means it measures the extent of dissociation. So when strong acid is dissolved in water, it undergoes 100% dissociation, so alpha is equal to 1. So here HCl, suppose it is dissolved in water, then it produces H ions. Actually hydronium ion is there, but for our convenience we write it as a H ions and Cl ion. See here in this example, HCl when it is dissolved in water, it forms hydronium ion and Cl ion. It gets dissociated, complete dissociation takes place, and all the molecules dissolve, get dissociated and form what? H3O, that means hydronium ion and chloride ion. Some examples of strong acids are H2SO4, HBr, HNO3, HI, etc. These are the examples of strong acids. And strong bases, those bases which almost completely dissociated in water. For example, NaOH. NaOH when dissolved in water, it get complete dissociation of NaOH takes place, and Na ions and OH ions are formed in the solution. For example, KOH, lithium hydroxide, cesium hydroxide, these are the examples of strong bases. Like that, weak acid, those acids which are partially dissociated in water, they are called as a weak acid. Complete dissociation does not take place. So suppose acetic acid is dissolved in water, it gives you acetate ion and hydrogen ion, and in this reaction all the molecules of acetic acid does not get dissociated, and some unionized molecules are also present at the equilibrium. So at equilibrium, acetate ions are also present in the solution, hydrogen ions are also present in the solution, and undissociated acetic acid molecules are also present in the solution. For example, H2S, HCN, hydrogen cyanide, formic acid, HF, these are the examples of weak acid. Now suppose here HF is there and HF is dissolved in water, then it gives you what? HF molecule. Undissociated HF molecules are present in the solution. Chloride ions are also present in the solution, and hydronium ion are also present in the solution. So such acids are called as what? Weak acid, which partially get dissociated in water. And like that, weak base, those bases which are partially dissociated, that are called as a weak bases. For example, ammonium hydroxide. Ammonium hydroxide when it is dissolved, it forms NH4 ions and OH ion. Here ammonia, when it is dissolved in water, it forms NH4OH, and NH4OH gives you NH4 ions and OH ions. And also ammonium hydroxide molecules are present in the solution, that is undissociated water ammonium hydroxide molecules are also present. So it does not dissociate completely, it dissociates to very little extent. For example, ferric hydroxide, copper hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, all these are the examples of weak bases. Now last point of this topic, that is dissociation constant of weak acid and weak bases. Now dissociation constant, this term is generally used to compare the acidic relative strength of weak acids and weak bases. And dissociation constant is defined as an equilibrium constant obtained by applying law of mass action to dissociation equilibrium of a weak acid or weak base. Now equilibrium constant means what? That you have studied in chemical equilibrium topic. That is a ratio between the product of molar concentration of product to the molar concentration of reactant, with each concentration term raised to the power equal to stoichiometric coefficient in a balanced chemical equation at constant temperature. That is called as a equilibrium constant. And law of mass action, this is also you have studied in chemical equilibrium topic. So law of mass action means what? It is, or it states that rate of a chemical reaction is directly proportional to product of molar concentrations of reactant, with each concentration term raised to the power equal to number of molecules of reactant involved in the reaction at constant temperature. That is called as a law of mass action. And you can apply law of mass action to reversible reaction. And as weak acid and weak bases dissociate partially, you can apply the law of mass action to the dissociation reaction of weak acid or weak bases. Now consider here a dissociation of a weak acid, that is HA. Generally weak acid is represented by HA. So in water, HA, when it is dissolved in water, it gives you HA in aqueous medium, gives you H ions and A ions. If you apply law of mass action to this equilibrium reaction, then you will get what? Equilibrium constant for this equilibrium reaction, and you will get this Ka. Ka represent acid dissociation constant, which is the equilibrium constant, and it is equal to product of concentration of hydrogen ion and concentration of the A ions. So concentration of H ions into concentration of A ions. This concentration is expressed in moles per decimeter cube, and generally the symbol is enclosed in a square bracket represent molar concentration. So K is equal to concentration of H ion into concentration of A ions divided by concentration of HA, and this is known as acid dissociation constant. If the value of acid dissociation constant is larger, then acid is strong, that is concentration of hydrogen ion is more at the equilibrium, and that acid is strong. For example, acetic acid. Acetic acid, its K value for acetic acid is how much? 1.8 into 10 raised to minus 5. And hydrogen cyanide, which is also a weak acid, and Ka value of hydrogen cyanide is 4 into 10 raised to minus 7. So the acetic acid has Ka value larger than hydrogen cyanide, and therefore acetic acid is stronger than the hydrogen cyanide. So thus you can compare the strength of weak acid or weak base by using the value of the acid dissociation constant. So similarly, dissociation constant of weak base. So dissociation constant of a weak base is defined as an equilibrium constant obtained by applying law of mass action to dissociation equilibrium of a weak base. Now generally weak base is denoted as a BOH. So weak base is dissolved in water. Then BOH dissociate and gives you partially dissociate and gives you B ions and OH. So applying law of mass action to this equilibrium reaction, you will get what? Equilibrium constant. And for weak base, it is represented as a Kb. And Kb is equal to concentration of B ions into concentration of OH and divided by concentration of BOH. And therefore Kb is equal to Kb is nothing but what? Base dissociation constant or dissociation constant of a weak base. That is equal to Kb. So next time we will study about Ostwald dilution law. Thank you.